All right, so here we go. Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. Middleweight division fights just underway. And we all know how good Chris Weidman is, especially on the ground. But Bruno Silva's been in there with the best of them. And that's why I think Bruno Silva's going to win this fight. As we said all week in the lead up. First 30 seconds gone, they're just kind of feeling each other out. No strikes yet. There's a jab by Silva and a left. Those are the first punches of the night for these two. And yeah, we've had some early finishes tonight. Some questionable finishes in the last fight. Cedric Dumas complained of an eye poke. The ref let it keep going, and he ended up getting TKO'd. So kind of an awkward finish to that fight leading into this one. Here comes Chris Weidman, opening up big. He lands a big left and a right. Now Bruno Silva responds with a left and a right. And you hope this continues. As long as Weidman doesn't get a hold of him, which he does now, we're going to see a lot of action. And I spoke too soon. Now, look at this. Chris Weidman pounding away with the knee. He's got Bruno Silva bent down, and he takes him down. Bruno Silva stands back up, and he's going to have good takedown defense, as you already know. 3:20 left, round one. And this is what you feared in this type of fight, is Weidman's ability to just control you. He's eventually going to try to pull him off the fence. He's got the single leg, and there it is, and he dumps him. And now he's looking to take the back. Remember, Bruno Silva's the guy that's been in there with Alex Pereira, fought him pretty well. Of course, Pereira won that fight, but Bruno Silva's had some good competition on all levels. And should be well prepared for the situation, but who could be? Chris Weidman at his best is very tough. And this is the second fight following the injury, not the first fight. So he's had a lot of time to get back into practice, to rehab his body, to get closer and closer to 100%, which is what it seems like he is now. This is the fight that will tell us a lot more about Weidman going forward, because he is 39, man. The guy's getting older. But he's looking good right now. 19-4 in significant strikes, over a minute of control time, 1 takedown. And Bruno Silva with both gloves on the ground. That's to avoid any type of knee or head kick. He's considered a grounded opponent. And he's content with just staying here. But Weidman driving the knees, switching a position more to the side. Bruno Silva tries to grab him. He can't. And this is good defensive work by Silva. He's not building up any points from the judges, but he's preventing himself from being put in a bad position. And that's all you can do here. But this is certainly what you didn't want if you're Bruno Silva. Because Chris Weidman could do this all day. And if he can't get out of it, it's going to be a long fight. 1 minute left now, round one. And the ref doing a good job of staying out of it, because there's not a lot of action, but just enough to let him keep going. And while Bruno's down in all fours, Weidman's having a tough time lifting him and trying to get the takedown. He's got both hands down, and he's got all his body weight forward. Now over 2.5 minutes of control time for Weidman. And this is going to be an easy round for him. Won't be surprised if we get more of this in a second. This is not what I expected in this fight, but Weidman is getting back to his true form here very clearly. 10 seconds left in a round. Weidman has this round easily, and he continues to land knees on the thigh of Bruno Silva, and that's going to do it. And the crowd loves it. 31-4 in significant strikes, 45-6 total strikes, 309 of control, 1 takedown. And Bruno Silva is getting dominated. So a little bit about where we're at tonight. As we're into the replay, we don't get to see what the coaches are saying. If we did, they'd be telling Chris Weidman, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Bruno Silva, you got to stay away from takedowns at all costs. And that was the game plan going in, but it's easier said than done against Weidman. But leading into this fight, we're 7-3 on the night. A big week, big weekend, really, in terms of the pick is something we need. The overall picks, right? If we can get out of here at 9-4, even 8-5, would be a good week for us right now after 2 rough weeks in the last 2. And both fighters facing off here, staring each other down. The ref saying get back. And round 2 is underway. Forget telling these guys to get back. Just go ahead and kick off the round. It's all a waste of time. And a big right by Silva. Drops Weidman, who goes right in for the takedown. He can't get it. But Bruno Silva landed a big punch there to open the round. And I think that really slowed down Chris Weidman right now. You could tell. Eventually he's going to go back in for takedown and control time. That's where he's dominated. Bruno Silva wants to keep this fight standing, where he doubles up Chris Weidman. So that's the game that's being played between these two. And Bruno Silva's got to have better takedown defense and the ability to get out once Weidman does get the head on the hip. 1 minute gone, round 2. And now Silva's starting to land those straight jabs and lefts. And when he connects, man, they're powerful. But that punch really slowed down Weidman in terms of coming in and being as aggressive. It's like he tasted the power from Bruno Silva, who lands a left and a right. And I'll tell you what, Weidman can't take many of those. Weidman, you better stop this trying to throw with Bruno, I'm trying to tell you. Yep, and Weidman goes back in, he gets shoved off. Big defense there by Silva. And Silva needs to land a few more. He lands another left there. And now Chris Weidman kind of getting out of dodge. But if Silva can bring this thing under 2 minutes and then get taken down, as long as he's dominating in the stand-up, he could still steal the round. Oh, an eye poke and a time. And this time the ref catches it. In the last fight, they didn't, and it led to a finish. So they're trying to avoid that again at all costs. And here we go. Yep. Got him right with the thumb in the right eye. And Bruno Silva's wiping it. Looks like he's going to be fine. Well, I've been explaining like he hit him with the thumb right on the eye, but he didn't really push in or hit him in any way. Bruno Silva asking for something to be able to wipe his eye with. And really, any time they take is an advantage for Chris Weidman. It allows him to regather himself. Bruno Silva was starting to take charge in terms of the stand-up. And now Chris Weidman gets a minute break. And again, that may have benefited him. Halfway through round 2. And we're back underway. Chris Weidman opens it up with a big leg kick. And man, when Silva really unloads that left hand. I mean, if he catches, it's going to be a problem. And here comes Weidman. He can't get it. And they're starting to get more slippery. So Bruno Silva able to defend those takedowns a little better. Weidman backs him up with a jab. Silva responds with one. Ooh, big left by Weidman. 145 left. He misses on a big leg kick. There you go. Big right and left for Bruno. Now he takes a jab. He lands a left. And he slips a second time. Man, keep your feet, Bruno. Let's go, baby. When both guys trade in jabs. Big jabs, too. Straight leg kick by Weidman. And they regather in the center of the octagon. Come on, let's keep these finishes going tonight now. We need a finish here. One way or the other. Ooh, let's go. Let's go, Bruno. Okay. And they're opposite stance fighters, right? Because Weidman's standing righty, Silva standing lefty, and both guys just trading right now. They're really working the jabs, and Weidman's not scared to stand in there and throw. But is this the right decision? 30 seconds left in the round. Silva lands a big knee. Boy, and these guys are really trading. Weidman lands a big right, man. Bruno kind of dances out of there. This round is close. Very close. Another big left by Weidman. Silva's covering up now. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, Weidman's finishing strong, man. He might get this round. He's going to get this round, yeah. Oh, and Bruno responds. And the round finishes with both guys swinging, and Silva grabs the back of Weidman's head, and they bring their foreheads together like, yeah, let's go. A lot of respect there. A lot of fighters wouldn't allow another opponent to touch them after the bell, but these guys are ready for a big round 3, and I think Chris Weidman stole that round. He's up 77-30 in significant strikes, and now the whole plan changes. And again, we're not seeing this because it's on commercial break, but in the corner, the plan for Bruno Silva now, if you're his corner, you're down to gotta have a finish. And I always want to see what the corners say, because if they're not telling them that, they're completely wrong. Chris Weidman's corner, you got to let him know, hey, you're up 2-0, but you still got to be aggressive. Just be very careful in the stand-up. If you can gain some control time here, and as I say, like in football, run the ball, chew the clock if you got a big lead. And that's what Weidman has. And running the clock in the UFC is control time, riding your opponent. You can still look for submissions. You can still look for ways to end the fight. But if you can keep yourself free from any problems, control time is the way to go. Round 3 underway. First 10 seconds gone. First strike landed by Weidman. Weidman's been pretty close on some leg kicks tonight. And I got to say, I'm impressed with Weidman right now because I know Bruno Silva is a bad dude. And people weighing in here saying Weidman. And another eye poke. Here we go. And this one was worse. It looks like. All right, so the ref's saying both guys poked each other. I don't know. We'll have to see the replay on this. That's interesting. Silva's on his knees right now. And here we go. Boy, you got a jab there. No, Weidman did poke him. And the crowd doesn't like it. You got a pro New York / New Jersey crowd. Weidman's from New York, Long Island. And when you see the replay, all right, here we go. Oh, yeah, Silva did. Yeah, they both got poked. Wow. And that was weird because, all right, yeah, the thumb did get Weidman for sure. And I think Bruno knows that he did that. Weidman pointed at him, and then Bruno went right down on his knees, saying he got poked too. So that's kind of a weird situation. But the bottom line now is the clock is just ticking. Now Silva wants something to wipe his eye, and the crowd's not liking this at all. At all. And Weidman's pacing back and forth. All right, a stiff warning there from the ref. And here comes Silva. He's coming out hot, left and right. Spinning leg kick misses. Leg kick by Weidman lands. And after the first round, which we saw about over 3 minutes of control time by Weidman, it's now been all stand-up. In a place where Weidman should be a big-time underdog, he's hanging tough with Silva. And now leading 82-37 in significant strikes, which is completely contrary to what the stats show coming into the fight, which is why you can't always believe the stats. Matchups are everything. Now Weidman keeping that left hand out, trying to keep Bruno back. Boy, and all that power that Silva had, it just seemed to fade. Especially the power that he had early in round 2. It just seemed to fade. It's like Weidman gaining that control time in round 1 has kind of taken the energy level away from Bruno Silva, which is surprising to see. And Weidman's still showing he's definitely capable of being the fighter he once was before. The injury and a big left drops. Bruno Silva, who covers up. And now Bruno's in trouble. And that's it. The ref stops it. And Bruno Silva saying he was eye poked. And here we go again. Here we go again. Crowd doesn't care. They love it, man. This is going to be a finish for Chris Weidman. But a second fight in a row where a guy said he was eye poked. And the ref didn't stop it. And Bruno Silva's complaining now. And it definitely looks like something isn't right. And it's crazy that you're having these finishes and it's hard to enjoy them because other guys saying it was an eye poke. And Bruno Silva's pounding the ground. Chris Weidman's walking around, pumping his fist to the crowd, and he's pumped up. And the crowd loving this, man. Loving this. Definitely back in the New York native, Long Island native. And here we go. Oh! Yeah, he did get poked. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he got poked, man. Oof. Okay. Yeah, he grabbed his eye and went right down again, which is hard to believe because it seemed like the last one he kind of, I guess, I don't want to say faked it because he got poked, but this would have been the third one. And he's complaining about an eye poke here, and the ref is letting it go again. And this poor ref's been in some tough situations tonight. And here we go. It did look like the finger got in there. And they're saying this could potentially be a no contest. And that's it. That's it, man. Wow. As you look at the replay again, Chris Weidman getting the big finish. And a little controversy here. And we're going to have to wait for this decision. But definitely a little controversy here. And they're talking here. The refs outside the cage are talking. They're looking at replays. And this is either going to be a finish for Chris Weidman or a no contest. And Bruno Silva showing a lot of emotion right now. He's yelling at his corner, look at my eye. Chris Weidman's walking around with his hands put up. And if this is a no contest, the people are going to be pissed. That's for sure. And Bruno Silva pleading that he was poked. A guy that does not like to get finished, obviously, who does? But he's pleading with the ref that, hey, I was poked in the eye. And very similar to Cedric Dumas in the previous fight. Hey, I got poked. The ref doesn't stop it. And that's it. And the ref could see that he was complaining of an eye poke. He went to step in, but Chris Weidman was punching. Then the ref stepped out and kind of like, okay, let's let this thing go. And then, bam, that's the way it turns out. Here we go. And the ref don't want to hear anything about it. TKO. Chris Weidman is going to get the win officially. So Chris Weidman gets a TKO. He's going to move to 16-7, and to me, he's back. He looked, even better than he did in the last fight. He's further and further away from the injury. Everything looks good. And Chris Weidman is back, man. He needed this win big time. Middleweight division. UFC Atlantic City.